And I want to shift gears to the NFL. Because the Houston Texans did something this past week that a lot of NFL teams need to do. I'm looking at you, the Detroit Lions, the Atlanta Falcons, and I'm also looking at the New York Football Jets. The Houston Texans fired their head coach / general manager, Bill O Brien. This was long overdue. In fact, the head coach, general manager / Bill O'Brien got Bill O'Brien fired. I know it sounds weird to say, but when you operate in two roles, in two capacities, he got himself fired. Bill O'Brien, the general manager, was a disaster. Bill O'Brien, the head coach, was somewhat decent. He was slightly above average. In 7 seasons, he was 52-48 as a head coach. Now, if you want to totally throw out the first 4 seasons of Bill O'Brien's head coaching career, I'm all for it. He had a litany of quarterbacks, one to include Brock Osweiler, whose contract was a disaster. They realized after they paid him that he can't play football. So if you're willing to excuse the first 4 years, I'm good with that. But the last 3 years, he had Deshaun Watson, who according to Dabo Swinney is the Michael Jordan of football. According to Dabo Swinney, Deshaun Watson is otherworldly. And we've seen what Deshaun Watson can do when he has time and when he has weapons. But Bill O'Brien, what does he accomplish? Even with Deshaun Watson. Sure, they've won the division a couple of times. Sure, they've won to the playoffs a couple of times. But by and large, this has been an average team in a weak division. I defended Bill O'Brien when he traded DeAndre Hopkins in the offseason. But his ineptitude as a head coach and as a general manager was flagrant. All right? Bill O'Brien traded DeAndre Hopkins. He signed Laremy Tunsil, but never did anything to really address the offensive line problems the Houston Texans have had, which resulted in Deshaun Watson being the most sacked quarterback over the last 3 seasons. That is a problem. Yes, Bill O'Brien makes it to the playoffs with this team, but what did he do when he got there? He lost 30-0 to the Kansas City Chiefs at home in his own building. He lost 21-7 at home in the playoffs to Andrew Luck and the Indianapolis Colts. And then last year, he was thoroughly outplayed by the Buffalo Bills once again at home. Had it not been for Deshaun Watson's heroics, he should have been fired after they lost to Buffalo last season. They somehow ended up winning that football game. They get on the plane, go to Kansas City. The Chiefs spot them a 24-point lead. They were up 24-0 at one point in that football game. And there's 2 decisions in particular that really stand out to me. Bill O'Brien decided to go for it on 4th and 7 as opposed to kicking a field goal. And then he decided to kick a field goal on 4th and 3 as opposed to going for it. They end up losing that football game by double digits. How he was allowed to board the plane is for reasons unbeknownst to me. But somehow he was able to come into this season as the Houston Texans head coach. Like I said, he got rid of DeAndre Hopkins in the offseason. And ever since then, it's been all downhill. They started the season 0-4. They traded away DeAndre Hopkins. In many people's eyes around the NFL, he didn't get adequate compensation for a player the caliber of DeAndre Hopkins. And then you lose to the Minnesota Vikings, who are scrambling themselves and can't seem to get out their own way, and have Kirk Cousins at quarterback. So the Houston Texans firing Bill O'Brien was necessary. But I've got news for you. There are several other teams in the NFL. The New York Football Jets with Adam Gase, the Detroit Lions with Matt Patricia, and the Atlanta Falcons with Dan Quinn. I want all 3 of you to count your days.